Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm David Kerr from Lansing in Michigan, and these are your latest news headlines from around the world. Hollywood actor Shia LaBeouf has revealed that he's converted to Catholicism. The performer disclosed his conversion in a video interview with the popular American evangelist Bishop Robert Barron, the actor who plays the role of St. Pio of Pietrelcina in the upcoming movie Padre Pio. Said the conversion happened during the shooting of the film. He told Bishop Barron that he was changed while living with a monastery of Capuchin friars, researching the life of the renowned 20th century Italian stigmatist. Mr. LaBeouf also revealed how his spiritual journey freed him from suicidal thoughts and emotional baggage. He also shared his positive experience of the Holy Rosary and the Holy Eucharist, and the influence of Holy Mass had upon him during the filming of the Padre Pio biopic. Pope Francis has praised Hungary for standing up for traditional family values and supporting persecuted Christians. The Holy Father expressed his gratitude towards the family policies of the Central European country during a private audience with the President of the Republic, Katalin Novák, on August the 25th at the Vatican. Following a 45-minute meeting, President Novák posted on social media that Pope Francis had applauded the halving of the number of abortions in Hungary in recent years, as well as the sharp rise in marriages. After the papal meeting, President Novák held discussions with Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's Secretary of State. The Hungarian president also issued an official invitation to Pope Francis to visit Hungary, saying that preparations for the papal visit would soon begin. The long-anticipated meeting between Pope Francis and the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Kirill of Moscow, will now not take place next month in Kazakhstan. It was hoped the two religious leaders would meet to discuss a peaceful resolution to the 6-month-long war in Ukraine. According to the Russian news agency RIA Novosti, however, the Patriarch will now not travel to the Kazakh capital of Nur-Sultan to attend the 7th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions on September the 14th and 15th, where it had been hoped by some he would meet Pope Francis. Instead, a delegation will represent Patriarch Kirill at the Interfaith Congress. It was in 2016 that the Pope and the Patriarch last held a meeting. That took place in Cuba. Another meeting was scheduled for June of this year, but it was postponed due to the outbreak of the war in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Pope Francis will create 20 new cardinals on Saturday at a consistory in Rome. That ceremony will raise the membership of the Sacred College of Cardinals to 229. However, only 16 of Saturday's new cardinals will be eligible to take part in any future conclave to elect a new pope, as they are below the age limit stipulated in canon law of 80 years. After Saturday's consistory, therefore, a total of 132 cardinals will now be eligible to vote in the next papal conclave. More than 700 Catholic schools were forced to close in the Philippines during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's according to the country's Department of Education. In total, more than 860 out of the country's 14,000 private schools have ceased operating since the pandemic outbreak in 2019. The schools were forced to close, it's said, because of financial constraints imposed by the COVID outbreak. The country's Education Department has now launched a probe into the mass closure of schools. The global Catholic charity Aid to the Church in Need is hosting a prayer vigil in Spain for those Nicaraguan Catholics currently being persecuted by the country's left-wing government. The vigil will take place on August the 27th in the parish of San Valero in the northeastern Archdiocese of Zaragoza. It will begin with a procession carrying a statue of the Immaculate Virgin, who is patroness of Nicaragua. Those taking part will carry pictures of the priests kidnapped by the Nicaraguan socialist Sandinista regime. After solemn benediction, there will then be a video presentation on the plight of Bishop Rolando Alvarez of Matagalpa, who is currently under house arrest in the Nicaraguan capital of Managua. The International Director of Aid to the Church in Need projects, Regina Lynch, says the situation in the Central American country is critical, adding that prayer is more important than ever. Pope Francis is urging Catholic politicians to work for a more just, fraternal and peaceful world. On Thursday, the Pope told members of the International Catholic Legislators network gathered in Rome to pursue those three goals through legislative processes that promote the good of all. He said justice is defined as the will to give to each person what he or she is due. Pope Francis said according to the biblical tradition, justice also involves concrete actions aimed at fostering right relationship with God and with others so that the good of individuals and the community can flourish. Finally, the government of Eritrea has seized control of 2 technical schools run by Catholic religious orders. The agro-technical school in the town of Hagaz was run until recently by the LaSalle brothers. The institution has provided training in farm machinery, cultivation and animal husbandry for almost 25 years. Meanwhile, the Don Bosco Technical School in the town of Hari, which was run by the Salesians, has already been nationalised. The government say their decision is rooted in a 1995 regulation limiting the activities of religious institutions in the East African nation. Catholics are a minority in Eritrea, where the Eritrean Orthodox Church has a considerable presence. In 2019, the Eritrean government took control of secondary schools and health facilities run by religious bodies across the country. Well, that's your latest headlines for now. Do join us for more tomorrow. You can also join us at swnews.org for news updates. Shalom.